We're chatting with Raelyn Nelson. She's bringing the Raelyn Nelson Band to the Harvester Performance Center in Rocky Mount. The show is Friday, February 22nd. You can get your tickets at harvester-music.com. It's going to be a wonderful show. Raelyn, thanks so much for taking some time to chat with us. Tell folks about your sound, because when we listen to this music, you hear a little bit of everything. You hear some rock, you hear some country, you hear the rockabilly thing in there, the Americana, the folk. It's you've created a really good gumbo here, yet it still sounds so unique to you.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that. I just went out to find a place to record these country melodies that I'd written, and they weren't all completely done. There were some lyrics there, some not, but just a lot of different melodies. Ended up going to my music partner, Jonathan Bright, who is also my guitar player. Went to his studio in his house, which is really common in Nashville. There's lots of home studios. And went there to record some stuff. I recorded it, and by the end of the session, he said, "You should come over and we'll finish these songs and we'll put a combo together." And his background is all rock and roll. And he has been in the underground rock scene in Nashville forever. And his band was Defense Wins Championships. There is Defense Wins Championships. They still do shows. But so basically, all of the rock you hear is my band, because he basically grabbed his DWC guys to back me in our songs. So the country melodies you hear is all me and lyrics and stuff, and then the guys totally rock it out. And I got to say, since I've been playing rock and roll with these guys, or country garage rock, people have tended to coin the Raelyn Nelson Band sound. As I've been doing that, I gotta say I love rocking out. It's a lot of fun playing rock and roll music with your friends. And basically, it's just a big part. We like to hang out with everyone. It's not really a show or a performance. We're just kind of up there hanging out with everyone and to try to talk to the crowd and just play our songs for everybody. Kind of what to expect.
Yeah, you watch the videos on YouTube, and it's really easy to see how much fun you guys are having. You mentioned Jonathan. Talk about the rest of the band that you're going to be bringing to the Harvester in Rocky Mount, because you guys sound great together. As you said, you have fun, you get up there and rock it out, and it seems like you're getting better and better every show.
I feel the same way. I feel like I'm getting better every show. And it's funny, when we first started, I would just stand there, because that's kind of what I was used to doing, singer-songwriter stuff. So I would just stand there and turn around, and the guys were just sweating, and I'd be like, "What are you doing back there? What is happening?" And then I'd watch. It took me a while to even watch it to myself, singing and playing. But when I was watching, I'd see them just dancing, all these rock moves and having the best time. So I basically started to poke fun of them and do all these moves with them, but then ended up having a lot of fun with it and made it part of the show. Oh gosh, what was the other part of that question?
Oh, I don't know. I've forgotten myself. Yeah, tell us about the band specifically. Give us their names and what they do, and why you haven't fired them yet.
John Wright, who we call JB, is my guitar player and music partner, and we write songs together. And he basically rocks them up, And then we all get together and arrange it and preach to Mike Rutherford, but everyone can preach. He's our bass player, and those guys are with me at the time. And the drummer I'm bringing with you guys is named Jeff Brown, who's totally awesome. It's funny because I had more drummers than Spinal Tap, but for some reason, every time somebody drums me, they get a better gig. So we've had drummers go to play with Gene Simmons, and then Steven Tyler, and Steve Earle, and I'm forgetting the other one. There's another her name, but it's funny because everybody gets a way better gig than with me once they start drumming with us. So Jeff is actually our 11th drummer we've had, or our 12th drummer we've had, and so I've officially more than Final Tap now. But Angie Lisi usually drums, but she's just not able to make it at the time. So Jeff is he's the backup drummer. He's going to come with us.
Well, the show is Friday, February 22nd, the Raelyn Nelson Band. It's a Friday show, folks, so you got no excuse. You need to get out there. We haven't really mentioned one possible important part for some folks here, and that is the fact that you are Willie Nelson's granddaughter. Discuss it a little bit, because it's maybe a blessing and a curse. Curse isn't the right word to use, but I guess there's pros and cons to having a musical icon as your grandfather, right?
Yeah. In ways, it's big shoes to fill if you want to look at it that way. I don't ever expect to be able to play a string instrument like him. He's so amazing, and his lyrics and the way he writes, he's my number one inspiration. He's the reason I wanted to play music. I saw him doing this my whole life, and knew I wanted to do that. It was a pretty fun life and a pretty fun job, So
did he try and talk you out of it?
No, never. I reached out to him when I was 14 years old and said, and I could remember these guitars in his house that were just kind of over in the corner. That wasn't Trigger, his main guitar. And so I emailed him and I'm like, hey, Papa Willie, I want to learn how to play guitar. Will you send me one of those guitars in your house? I just want an old beat up one or whatever. And he sent me a brand new Martin guitar. And I started playing that and writing all my songs on that. I still play that guitar today. But in my band, I play ukulele. But every single time I send him something, it's always, I love your writing. You're on a roll. Keep going. And when I asked him to play and sing with me on the Moon song, of course he said yes. And his response was, let's make it a world smash hit. And I thought he was serious. I thought it was going to be a hit, The cool thing about being a Nelson is that you put music out. More than likely, everybody will take a listen to it just because of possibly, but it doesn't mean everybody's going to like it.
Right.
It's definitely not the same kind of music he's doing. It's not the same. We're all kind of making our own sound. My Uncle Lucas has his own sound, and my Uncle Micah and my Aunt Amy with her band Folk Uke, and my Aunt Paula Nelson band. We all have our own sounds that we're doing, and it's neat to kind of hear all these little inspirations come out of the generations, of what we've all been listening to growing up and who we're playing music with and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's... go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, that's the fascinating thing about music in general, but your music specifically is you get all these different influences. Maybe there is one main influence or one main street, but then you start going down the side streets and you're like, wow, this is a whole nother world here. It's like you said, the way you play the ukulele, you incorporate all these different things and it becomes this unique sound that is Raelyn Nelson.
Yeah.
And I, is that something you had to work at to get your sound, or is it just sort of come naturally?
Well, I read this somewhere. It said, nobody's going to be the best at whatever you're doing. Everybody should try to be the best at their craft or what they're doing. And nobody's going to, so do what you can to stand out. And when we first started playing, I was playing acoustic guitar and then fell in love with the ukulele because JB, my guitar player, had just done all ukulele replacements cover album, and so he had a whole bunch of ukuleles around the studio. From that, he started teaching me the chords, and I'm like, nobody's fronting a rock and roll country garage rock band with the ukulele right now. So it was basically everybody in Nashville plays guitar, but
right.
Not everybody plays ukulele,
Right.
So, and trust me, anybody who does play guitar can totally pick up the ukulele and figure it out. It's super simple, but it's so much fun to play. You can't play it without laughing. You can't play it without having a good time. It's a great instrument, and I can move a lot. Once I started rocking out with the boys, I can move all over the place with this teeny tiny thing and still be playing. And I like to play. I don't want to just stand up there and sing. That's not my forte. I want to play something. It feels good to play an instrument.
We're talking with...
Can I answer your question?
Yeah, I'm loving it. We're chatting with Raelyn Nelson. She's bringing the Raelyn Nelson Band to the Harvester in Rocky Mount Friday, February 22nd. Let's dig into your songwriting process a little bit, Raelyn. I know I've chatted with a lot of artists, and some people say, "Oh, you gotta try and write something every day. You gotta clock in, clock out." Other people say, "I just sort of wait for the inspiration to strike." What's your process like, or maybe it's been different on certain songs?
I feel as though I am constantly writing a song or two in my head all the time. I'm also a mom. I have 3 young kids, and I homeschool them and have that kind of life going on. So when an idea hits, I'm not always able to just go to the guitar and figure it out, or turn on the voice memo and do something. So I feel like even when I'm doing household mom tasks, I'm constantly writing in my head a couple of songs. But in the sense of I don't clock in, like you said. I wait for the inspiration to hit and then work on that one. And if it stays in your head, I've noticed that it's a pretty good melody. You know, it's catchy enough to stick around. And if I forget it, then it wasn't worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's a good enough melody, it'll stay in your head and it'll be there.
Sure. Well, I know you picked the brain of the rest of the family, the aunts and uncles and granddad about the business side and the sounds of music. Is that the same way with the songwriting? Do you say, hey, how did you write this song, or what were you thinking there, et cetera, et cetera?
I have talked a little bit with my grandpa about that, but not in full detail. I mean, it's funny. Ideas just come to you. And that's something, when I was little, melodies would come to me. I just didn't realize that I was writing them. It didn't hit me until early teens that I was coming up with these melodies.
Right.
So it's just like, it's there in your head. The melodies are there. And, of course, I work on the lyrics and try to make them witty, like Papa really does. And of course, they have a line and have a pattern. And, that's the work part of the songwriting process to me. And then after I get my part figured out, and I usually just send it by voice memo to JD, and he listens to it, and the next time we get together, he'll throw in his ideas with it, which are usually really, really cool. I tend to use really simple stuff and really simple chords and chord changes, and he always comes up with a cooler chord to play in a certain area, or and so I'm giving him a starting point to start off from too, and he can kind of take it and. I mean, the only way to explain it is rock it up. It just totally makes it a rock song with little country melodies on top of it,
Yeah. It sounds like the combination's been working perfectly thus far. Let's talk about the covers that you choose. You got the great one of John Michael Montgomery, sold at the Grundy County auction. There's some others too. How do you choose those and then make them fit with the Raelyn Nelson sound? Because again, you hear that cover. I mean, everybody knows the old version, but you hear your version and you say, "Oh, wow, this is a Raelyn Nelson song now. This is incredible."
Yeah, we definitely play that one super fast. But when I was a kid, I listened to that song over and over and over again because I wanted to learn the lyrics. I thought it was a really cool song, and that's why we cover it. We pick songs that I love to sing. And always loved or newly loved. That's really why we pick the covers that we play. And then we just put our spin on it, to make it, we know what we can do and what we can bring to the table, so we make it our own, Let's see, we do, I always start off the show with Bad Reputation from John Jett.
Sure.
And we do Patty Loveless, and then On Your Heart, which I've been singing since I was 9 years old. And Fizz City from Loretta Lynn, and Jack White and Loretta Lynn's Portland, Oregon for a little more modern stuff. And then we do a couple of Papa Willie covers that I've always loved.
Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Does it get old having the audience yell out Willie Nelson songs for you to do, or you take it as a compliment, take it in stride?
I always feel bad. I'm like, I don't know how to play that one,
Right.
I'm like, how about this one? And then I had people yell out Little Willie or Sweatpant Willie. There was a festival we were playing, and it was so cold, and it was outside, and one of the roadies that was working the festival threw me a sweatpants because I was wearing shorts like an idiot. And so I put these sweatpants on that had, dirt stains on them from where I was working, and out in the dirt all day, and so somebody yelled, "Sweatpant Willie" up there. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it is.
Usually the most, and I really should, because it just isn't hard. We could just pull it off quickly. Is I always want to hear "I'll Never Smoke with Willie Again." They always request that one because I think it's hilarious, but I don't really want to sing that because I do want to smoke with them again. I don't want to sing that and manifest that not happening again.
Right, right. Yeah, I hear you. Of course, Willie Nelson has so many songs. He doesn't even remember them all anymore, I'm sure. So how could you be expected to remember them all? But the ones you do know, you guys make them sound great. What's next for Raelyn Nelson and the Raelyn Nelson Band? I'm assuming more live performances we can look forward to. Maybe another album in the works. What's coming up in the near future? We
do. We have an album coming out really soon. I don't have a date yet. We have a full album coming out, and we are pairing Weed and Whiskey TV and doing a lot of stuff with them. And, yeah, so a new album coming out. The album's called Don't. And I'm excited to get the music out. It's been working on it for a while and keep adding songs to it. It was to be a little EP, and then I kept wanting to add songs to it. So right now we literally just won this last week at a summit. So JB's at the studio working on it right now and making sure it's done so we can keep with the timeline.
Very cool. Yes, the record companies, they always seem to want things at certain times, and that begins to be an issue in the music business. Raelyn, this has been a lot of fun. The Harvester's website is harvester-music.com. Folks can buy tickets there. Tell everybody where to find you online and out there in cyberspace, all that good stuff.
Yes, I'm at Raelyn Nelson or at Raelyn Nelson Band, RAELYN Nelson, and RaelynNelsonBand.com.
Perfect. Raelyn, thanks for your time. We're very much looking forward to seeing you at the Harvester in Rocky Mount Friday, February 22nd. I hope everybody will go check it out. I'm sure they're going to be satisfied customers. Raelyn, thank you so much.
Thank you, and I look forward to meeting everyone too to hang out afterwards. So
that's right. It's a party. Yeah, it's not a performance. It's just a party.
It's a party. Come hang out.